Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the championship match of the 2023 Volleyball League of America East Division Cup. 10 teams, so many matches, I don't even know the number. Live from the Impact Athletic Center in Albany, New York. It is the final between the New York Legion Volleyball Club, Team LVC, the home team and the #1 seed, against the Cinderella Kentucky Unicorns, the 7th seed in the tournament and the Tier 1 Slayers. They have beaten 2 consecutive Tier 1 teams to get to this point. The Northeast Force last night and the Boston Bounce this morning. Could they add the 3rd and final and perhaps biggest Tier 1 East Division member to their list? This is a rematch of yesterday morning's pool play, one of the very first matches of the tournament between Team LVC and the Kentucky Unicorns in Pool A. Team LVC won that match easily, 3-0. But that was a very different Kentucky Unicorns team. A lot of reasons why perhaps at 7:30 in the morning that might not be indicative of your true level of volleyball. And if you ask the Northeast Force and the Boston Bounce, if this Kentucky Unicorns team is scary, they would certainly have a similar answer for you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, while we wait for starting lineups to get confirmed and almost ready to get the first serve underway, I want to look at the bracket. Got it here behind me. Left side of the bracket here is where Team LVC came from. They had a bye by winning their pool. They took on the Columbus Crimson, beat them this morning, no problem. They beat the River City Flow in a really competitive 3-0, but a 3-0 nonetheless. Here they are in the final looking for their first cup tournament win of all time. The Kentucky Unicorns over here beat the Northeast Force last night, actually really convincingly 3-0. They beat the Boston Bounce in an unbelievable 5-setter earlier this morning. And here they are in the final, the Kentucky Unicorns in their first year as a VLA franchise, already with 3 Tier 1 teams beaten, but no cup wins, although they've only played 1 tournament so far. What a debut season they're having, and what a debut tournament victory this would potentially be over the reigning Tier 1 champions. So we're just about ready to go. We're getting some officials and camera operators in place for this awesome broadcast, and we'll be right back with you with first serve in just a moment. Don't. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The Kentucky Unicorns in white, blue, and pink fade on the far side of your screen serving. Team LVC in black on the near side receiving, and they've got a free ball chance after a pretty good defensive play. And Steve Braswell, number 29 in black, off the delivery from his brother, setter Luke Braswell, number 26 in black for New York. The Braswell family combines for the first point on the board. Best 3 out of 5 set match to 25 points. Must win by 2. If we go to a 5th, it'll be played only to 15. And here is Luke Braswell, the setter out of Penn State, back at the service line for Team LVC. Really good dig there by libero Mike Pelletier. Braswell in transition, ripped down the line. Fantastic start for Team LVC. Mike Pelletier, longtime LVC libero, with a very good dig against Kentucky middle blocker Josh Daly, and it turns into a point. So quickly to go over the starting lineups. Luke Braswell at setter for New York, Jordan Vari at opposite, Nicky Smith and Steve Braswell at outside hitters, Mike Pelletier at libero, and Lance Rogers, at least one of the middle blockers. We'll meet the second one in just a minute. First swing of the match for Corey Pieper, Kentucky's primary offensive player, is dug, but it results in a tap down opportunity for Josh Daly. So the Kentucky starting lineup: Spencer Hall, number 1 at setter, Jake Luby, number 4 at opposite, the Pieper brothers. Corey back to serve, number 11, and Casey, number 20, the 2 outside hitters. Josh Daly and James Martin, the middle blockers, and Michael Hickey at libero. Here is Corey Pieper, an absolute weapon from the service line. That one more conservative and handled easily, turning into a first ball side out for Lance Rogers. Number 10 in black, the longtime LVC middle blocker. One of the very best blocking middles in the league. And doesn't exactly have a cannon for an arm anymore anyway, but always up quick and finds angles and is an important part of the LVC offense. Pretty good serve there by Braswell, handled very nicely by Hickey, and Luby cross court is dug, but a net violation by New York will give Kentucky the point. Into the match for the first time is James Martin. Josh Daly, the middle blocker out of Purdue, back to serve. Nice deep cross court swing there by Smith. Nicky Smith, number 16 in black, out of SUNY New Paltz, Division III national champion. Rogers back to serve in the middle for Team LVC. So John Keller, number 9 in black, is the LVC middle blocker in the front court now. Good short float serve there by Rogers. Tough play for Casey Pieper, but he gets up high and rockets that ball to the deep cross court corner. Very nicely done. So Jake Luby, the left-hander, back to serve. Yeah, tries to hook that on Smith. Exactly where I suspected he would go, and right on the net, he forces the overpass. Tapped down by Martin, and you see that ace celebration for Kentucky. They correctly recognize that even though an overpass forced isn't an ace in the stat sheet, it is just as automatic of a point at this level. Nice pressure there to draw up to a 4-4 tie earlier in the first set. Pelletier fights that serve off. Smith against 2 blockers on the left side. Got the deflection off the hands and off of Pieper as well in position 6, and New York retakes the lead. That will send Jordan Vari back to the line, number 15 in black, the superstar Team LVC opposite. First team all VLA a season ago. It is so often that New York goes on runs when Vari is at the service line. Just as I say that, his first opportunity goes pretty well out of bounds. Here is Casey Pieper out of the University of Dayton. Much less aggressive serving than his brother by comparison. No net violation there, back to New York. First swing for Vari out of the back row is an attack line fault. Vari, the back row attacker, stepped on that 10-foot attack line as he went to go get that ball, and called right away by our outstanding up official, Deb LaValle. So Casey Pieper serving again, putting pressure on Smith, the front court outside hitter. Vari again out of the back row, this time stays behind the line, but Hickey makes a good play, although then hit out of bounds on the second contact. Good move there by Michael Hickey, number 22 in the dark blue, purplish unicorn looking jersey back there. That is a foot fault. Nicky Smith stepping on the service line. So no excuses for Team LVC about not being aware of where all the lines are on this court. I know there's a lot of them, but been playing here all weekend. Speaking of this facility, the Impact Athletic Center in the north suburbs of Albany, New York, is an absolutely beautiful facility. I certainly hope it's not our last time here. Nice run there from Braswell to Keller. High contact over 2 blockers and down no problem. And I'm really curious about the middle matchup between these two teams. When they played yesterday morning, again, it was first match of the weekend, 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday. It's not really indicative of the two teams' level, but Team LVC owned that matchup in the middle. See if Josh Daly and James Martin for Kentucky can hang around. They certainly have in Kentucky's run to this championship final. There is Daly in the middle, slowed down by Rogers. Out of system swing coming from Braswell, maybe. No, it's a free ball. That ball's down. Yeah, good adjustment there by Casey Pieper out of the back row. Jumped a little early, but still was able to score on the roll shot. Haven't seen all that much in-system big from either team. That middle back outside hitter coming flying in. But both Pieper brothers are threatening in that area. We'll see if Hall, the setter, chooses to go there a little bit more often. And there is Rogers again. Quick middle attack having success for New York here early. Good block there by Rogers against Daly. Luby, the left-hander, somehow goes right between the arms of Rogers. A 3-point field goal splits the uprights. And the Unicorns get out of rotation 1. That one rotation where the outside hitter and the opposite are switched on the wings. And that sends Corey Pieper back to serve. How aggressive is he going to be? Very aggressive, but not particularly close to clearing the net, so LVC can breathe a sigh of relief against Kentucky's most dangerous server as Steve Braswell goes back to the line. Beautiful pass. Luby tight on the net, but a net touch by New York. That was definitely Nikki Smith that touched the net. That ball would have been well out of bounds and a New York point, but instead the violation gives Kentucky the lead. So this Unicorns team, a new Tier 2 squad founded by Shane Green in Lexington, Kentucky this offseason in their second VLA Cup tournament. We'll talk more about who they are as a team after this point, see if they can slow down this LVC free ball offense. Vari accelerates on a tight ball and tools the block of Pieper and out of bounds. So this Unicorns team encompasses a pretty wide area. They're founded in Lexington, but they kind of control the Louisville community, the Cincinnati, Ohio community. There's a pretty wide radius of spots in the southern, southeastern Midwest represented by this Unicorns team. Wow, look at that serve. Lance Rogers with the floater drops it off the cliff for the ace, and LVC takes the lead. The Unicorns already in their short existence have picked up some hardware. They did win a major Tier 2 tournament back in December in Michigan. And they've now beaten 3 Tier 1 teams already. Swede at the Central Division Cup and Force and Bounce here at this event. Looking to add Team LVC to that lineup. There is Casey Pieper over the top of the block that time. Already this feels like a different match than the one that these two played yesterday morning. Here is Jake Luby back to serve. Nikki Smith seems to be the serving target. That one handled beautifully, but Smith with the swing missed it out of bounds. However, before that ball was dead, the Kentucky block touched the net, so New York takes the point, and it's 12-11. Good service pressure there from Vari. Hall able to rescue it. And Martin, the middle blocker, takes it out of system swing. Right place, right time for that, but equally right place, right time for the LVC block. 13-11 New York. Well left there by Casey Pieper. That serve going out of bounds. Team LVC got to this point in this tournament by beating the River City Flow in the semifinals earlier this morning. A really good match. All 3 sets won by just 2 points, but it was a 3-0 nonetheless. In those sets, it was Jordan Vari each time that got the deciding kill. Keller there goes for the off speed and tips it short, looking to go to position 4. So the unforced error gives us a tied game at 13 apiece. But when LVC, my point being is that when LVC gets into close games, which they're in one right now, but they need a point, Jordan Vari is the guy. That is a float service ace there from Casey Pieper over the head of Nikki Smith and into the corner. That was comfortably in. Good dig there by Hickey against Keller. Hall, the setter, is blocking on the left in this rotation. We'll talk about that in a minute for sure. But then there is Hall making a great off-blocker play. Pieper with a swing, deep cross court over the block, no touch and out of bounds. So the Unicorns have been doing that for most of this bracket run. When Spencer Hall, number 1, is in the front court, a decent amount of the time they'll switch him to block on the left side. They're interpreting that the teams they've played against so far have had less threatening back row right side presences than whoever is the front court outside hitter at the time, so they want to put Pieper, the bigger blocker, on the outside. But with Vari as the D-ball option for New York, we'll see if that strategy changes. That is a net touch against Keller of New York. The Unicorns team, very young in terms of VLA experience, but well constructed. They've got 2 elite arms in Pieper and Pieper. They've got all around good ball control, and they've got just this little bit of magic that they seem to make plays when they're needed. No play to be made there against that Vari back row attack. When they need a point on serve, they somehow find a way to get one. They touch a lot of balls, they block a lot of balls, they play well in situations, and there's a lot of that you just can't teach. Sometimes when you put a team together, they either have that sort of magic or they don't. And in this tournament run, the Unicorns have had certainly some magic, as would befit the average Unicorn. Good high challenge of the block there by Pieper to get it recycled. And that ball hit out of bounds by Daly behind the setter. So the middle blocker running behind the setter that time doesn't find the court or the hands. Keller with a 1-point New York lead. A beautiful stab by Smith off the block touch, but this is going to be a free ball for Kentucky. Hall to Pieper again, high over the hands, and this time diving Smith can't run it down off the block touch. Corey Pieper, number 11 in blue and pink, had a great collegiate career at Rutgers. I believe Rutgers Newark, the Division III NCAA program. Played a year in Greece, played at least a year in the United Kingdom while he got his graduate degree. So the only Unicorns player with real overseas experience. Speaking of overseas experience, Jordan Vari out of the back row finds the baseline. Wow, beautiful one-handed delivery from Hall to Pieper, but he's slowed down. Great looking transition now. Vari rolled, Hickey is there. Pieper again, crushed deep cross court. That's what I'm talking about. You need a couple elite arms to contend in this league and win these cup tournaments. And both Pieper brothers have cannons for right shoulders and the vision and ball control to match. That's really the special thing about those two players. Rotation 1 receive here for New York against the Unicorns' best server. This is a key point right here. 17 all in the first set. That's some really good pressure. Braswell fights it off nicely. Very tight chance for Vari. He's looking for the touch, did not find it. That was off the tape and wide. I agree with that no touch call. And Kentucky takes the point and the lead. Nice turn there from Rogers. Daly and Pieper were basically committed on that play. They were up pretty big, but big size advantage for Rogers at 6'8" over Daly at 6'2", despite how crazy springy he is. Here is Steve Braswell. Tough pass from Hickey. Casey Pieper accelerates and rips it down the line. That is such a gifted shot. 1918 Kentucky. Team LVC, the reigning Tier 1 VLA champions. Not a good pass by Smith, but he is able to take a swing and put it away. Amazing rescue there by Jordan Vari to get his platform underneath that ball and deliver a hittable bump set. Now Rogers will go back to serve. 19-19 tie. Everything we could have asked for in this championship match so far. LVC with a little bit of pressure on him to win this tournament. The #1 seed trying to keep pace with the SoCal Rising Tide and the Chicago Icemen, fellow Tier 1 teams who have won their division's cup. That ball tipped out of bounds by Vari off a pretty good transition chance, so Kentucky's going to regain the lead. Vari out of the back row is blocked by Martin, and the coverage can't quite keep it in play. Not a great pass. Allowed the Kentucky block to load up on the right side. And for the first time in what feels like forever, a team is 2 points clear, and it is the Unicorns. Luby, the tricky left-hander, doing a good job from the service line. Let's see if he goes at Smith this time. That was the plan anyway. This is it well out of bounds wide, and now it's Vari's turn. Here is Vari, the opposite out of St. Francis. Good pass there by Corey Pieper. And Martin in the middle sneaks it through the block of Smith and down on the New York side. James Martin, number 15 for Kentucky, Casey Pieper's teammate at Dayton. Nice turn there by Keller. Hall is underneath it. And Pieper, that's Casey that is, gets the ball back on the overdig. Martin crossbody is stuck beautifully by Vari. Smith somehow rolled over the tape and down in front of Hickey. That is a fortunate play for Team LVC. Kentucky had a swing to go up by 2 here late. A brilliant defensive play by Vari. Kept it alive, and now I think there's a Kentucky timeout. Looks like Spencer Hall, the Kentucky setter, might have collided with someone in that play, so I want to give him a breather and prepare to perhaps close out this first set. 22-21 Kentucky after this timeout. So before we get back to action, we're going to have a substitution on the Team LVC side. Number 5 in black, Andrew Fishman, in for Smith. That outside hitter to serve, and will probably play the whole back court trip if I had to guess. Team LVC needs a break point, a point on their serve from somewhere. Martin on the back one through the block of Keller, and good enough for another Kentucky side out. The Unicorns are 2 points away And they can do it in side-out fashion. They've gotten themselves 2 points clear right now, a really good spot to be. Conservative serve here from Martin. Vari down the line, dug by Martin off the tape. Big swing here from Pieper on the right side. Sharp cross court off the tape and out of bounds. That could have been a death blow from the Unicorns if that ball had fallen in bounds. The Team LVC still very much alive, and now another service substitution. Number 24, Jake Gleason, the backup setter, going to come in to serve and play defense for John Keller. The situation remains the same. If Kentucky sides out twice, set number 1 is theirs. Perfect pass by Pieper. That ball, though, hit out of bounds by Corey Pieper on the left side, looking for a sharp cross-court angle. Missed it by about 3 feet. So sure enough, there is the break point the Team LVC was looking for. And now we've got a deuce situation, 23 all. First to get 2 points clear will win the first set. Good work by Gleason keeping that ball in play. Pieper again challenges the block, and it produces a New York point. Luke Braswell, the setter, wins the joust. And back on the Kentucky side, they couldn't send it back over. So now timeout Kentucky, their second and final. And LVC has a set point out of it. What a job by Jake Gleason serving, and for Team LVC staying alive. As we've talked about really all of Team LVC's existence, this is one of the clutchest, most mature and prepared volleyball teams ever assembled. They are not rattled by pressure situations. They embrace them and they execute in those moments. Big reason why they're here in this final right now. They've had several of those moments along this way. It's not like it's been easy for them to run through this tournament and get to the final. They have certainly had their challengers. And their latest challenger, the Kentucky Unicorns, are on the ropes now. They need a side out to keep this overtime going. Well, not overtime potentially. Team LVC could get it done in regulation right here. Set point 24-23. Perfect pass. Daly on the back one. That ball is in. Brilliant swing. And now it is officially overtime. 24-24 as the service sub will be undone here for Team LVC. And Spencer Hall, number 1 in blue and pink fade. The setter for the Unicorns goes back to serve. Steve Braswell on a quick ball from his brother Luke puts that one away through the seam in the block and down. Team LVC is going to have another set point. Luke Braswell out of Penn State will serve for it. Perfect pass. Give and go to Pieper on the left side. He's slowed down nicely. Swing for Vari for the set. Blasted down the line. Off of Hickey and into the ceiling, and that is it. Sure enough, Team LVC comes from 2 points down, and they get 2 points clear in overtime. It is Jordan Vari, the man to deliver the transition kill, and LVC steals set number 1, quite frankly. 26-24. Very compelling first set of volleyball right there. And now a very big and very fair question. How will the Unicorns handle this? They had some pretty good chances to just execute on their side and take the first set, but Team LVC applied the pressure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Rob St. Clair here in the timeout, or in the set change anyway. Really good first set right there. Extremely compelling. The storylines write themselves. I mean, the reigning champs against basically a brand new team in a cup final. But here, this is what's on the line. Would be the first in either team's franchise history. Obviously, the Unicorns a new team, but Team LVC, for all their historical success, have never won one of these tournaments. The Cup Series of tournaments is kind of a different animal than winning the regular season or even winning in the playoffs. So LVC looking for one of these. I would say their fellow Tier 1 contenders, the SoCal Rising Tide and the Chicago Icemen, both have one of these on this season. And Team LVC and Chris Hosley, CJ Dank and company would dearly like to add one of these to their trophy case to match their trophy from last year's regular season. Set number 2 about to get ready to be underway. With the Unicorns only having 8 guys on the roster, I don't expect to see any changes in lineup. What we might see is some changes in matchup. We talked about that movement of the setter and some of the blocking pieces for the Unicorns based on the matchups across the net from them. I think they're starting to understand that Jordan Vari is the primary offensive guy for Team LVC. And that might affect the way they allocate their blocking resources to try and get some more touches. A lot of touches, a lot of defense, a lot of big swings. I already really like the tone and the feel of this first set, and we're going to have more good volleyball coming your way. So set number 2 ready to go. Let's get back to it. Underway here, Kentucky on the near side of your screen in set number 2. New York on the far side, and Corey Pieper through the block of Rogers, able to find the floor for the first point of the set. Decent pass there by Smith, and Braswell takes a hard rip and gets away with it through a tiny seam in the Kentucky block, and he finds the floor as well. Steve Braswell, the outside hitter of the Braswell brothers out of St. Francis. Collegiate teammate with longtime LVC middle blocker Mike Marshman, who were excited to join us in the league after a season in France. Very aggressive set there from Pieper, a little too tight for Luby to handle, so a break point for New York. Steve Braswell out of St. Francis, as is Jordan Vari, Steve's brother Luke Braswell out of Penn State. A lot of pretty good programs represented on both these teams, but LVC in particular right now. Good dig there by Pelletier against the middle. Vari in transition, blocked by Luby, somehow kept alive, but a free ball here for Kentucky. Pieper on the right side, blasted through the hands of Smith, and it deflects out of play. It's kind of what I was saying in the first set about this Kentucky team's somehow innate ability to just make plays. They touch balls, they block balls situationally, they somehow just hang around and they make the plays they need to make based on what the score is, based on where the ball is at. It's just something that you can't teach and it's hard to quantify. You either have it or you don't. And this Kentucky team's got it. That is a really good swing by Nick Smith inside a pretty good looking double block, and even a very good libero, Michael Hickey, couldn't handle that one. Luby off the block and out of bounds. Interesting there, the New York block. Keller was up there big, as he always is, but Smith chose to pull his hands away. I don't know what he's seen in the scouting report or the match so far that leads him to believe that Luby can't put the ball down to the floor. So we'll see if he continues to go for that choice. Smith rolled over a double block. Very good read by Hall, and now a chance for Pieper to take a swing, and he puts it away deep cross court right on the sideline. Excellent defensive read by Spencer Hall, and Kentucky takes the lead at 4-3. Ooh, Daly, the float server, misses it short that time. One thing that Kentucky's been good at is, and something that I think a lot of the teams in the VLA need to take some notes from, is serving strategy, serving smart, serving with intention. Their float servers target the right guys and they don't miss. Can't miss float serves at this level all that often. Perfect pass there by Pieper, and his brother Casey takes a swing, slowed down by the hands, but to the floor in front of a diving Braswell. Got brother duos on both sides. I try to make it as clear as I can which brother is doing the work. Luby, the left-hander trying to go down the line that time, and he misses it out of bounds. Oh, that is such a good shot. Corey Pieper just waiting for a decently high set to the back row, seeing the block in front of him. Little hop step, wrist away chop to the sideline. Nice vision. That ball hit out of bounds by Vari out of the back row. Nice dodge by Michael Hickey. That thing was a heat-seeking missile right for his head. But he recognized immediately that it wasn't going to tag the end line and got out of the way. 2-point Kentucky lead. So far, answering the question pretty well of how are they going to respond to letting that first set slip away. Nice play by Casey Pieper in the backcourt. Now Corey takes a swing, and he's slowed down by the block. Braswell to Braswell through the block and puts it down to the floor. Here is Keller, the middle blocker out of Rutgers, back to serve. And that one not particularly close. Rogers dug really nicely by Martin, but back to the LVC side. Rogers again dug by Pieper. Hall makes a good play as the left side blocker, and Corey Pieper takes a swing that would have produced a highlight, but just out of bounds, wide cross court. This is kind of what I'm talking about, this Unicorns team. It is difficult to beat this team. Look at those plays they just made, and just sort of the unconventional things that happen on their side of the net that work out for them. It's really hard to put into words, but it's not easy to play against. Nice high contact point there from Daly, but the block slows it down. Vari in transition, lights up Hickey, but he makes the play. Pieper blocked by Rogers, amazing coverage. Pieper again dug by Braswell. This might be the rally of the match right here. Good play by Rogers to keep it off the floor. But finally, Hall wins the play at the net, puts it down off of Braswell, who couldn't get up there in time. Kentucky wins an amazing rally. Look at the defense by both teams. Yeah, catch your breath, gentlemen. Spencer Hall back to serve. Vari is blocked by Daly, somehow covered, but now a decent transition chance, at least it should have been for Kentucky. Pieper takes a pretty good cross-court swing, and he admits, not really anybody saw that, but that ball into the antenna. Either into the antenna or outside of it. Good block by Daly, but the coverage from New York even better, and then not quite a good enough handling of the free ball on the Kentucky side to turn that into a point. So it's 8-9, Steve Braswell. Luby, really smart shot. The New York block leaving him a ton of line, and he saw the outside hand of Vari all the way. Only a matter of time until Corey Pieper has his impact from the service line. Here's a chance. Pretty good fight-off pass by Pelletier. Good dig by Hickey through the arms of the block. Now Pieper out of the back row, takes the setter out of the play. Good dig by Pieper again. Luby, deep cross court, and terminates. Wow, it seems to me that the longer the rally goes, the better the Unicorns' chances are. And that's normally something I say about Team LVC in calling so many of their games. Team LVC is tremendous. Block touching balls, digging balls, taking high smart swings, but they're up against a pretty similar team in that area. Rip of a serve there from Pieper. Braswell barely able to run it down, and a free ball chance, but Hall, the setter, is out of the play. Luby on the right side, good dig from Pelletier. And that ball touched by the block and down in front of a diving Pieper. Nice shot there from Vari. Another thing to point out, this is Team LVC's third match of the day. They played 2 yesterday, now 3 today. Kentucky, the opposite. They played 3 yesterday. This is only their second match today. Could they potentially be fresher? As this match continues to go along, I guess we will see. Ball hit out of bounds by Casey Pieper that time. But that serve missed short. It's 12-10 Unicorns. Pretty similar to kind of what we saw in the first set. Can the Unicorns hold on to the lead this time? Pretty nice rescue there from Braswell to stop it from going over the net, but it couldn't turn into offense. LVC can't send it back. And Josh Daly, a very underrated float server, having some success. It's a 13-10 Kentucky lead. Nice high swing there, dug by Pieper, back to New York. And Keller ripped in the middle. Somehow Daly makes that play. Another free ball chance for Team LVC. Oh, but a late net touch call against either Martin or Casey Pieper blocking. Josh Daly can't believe it. He made a really good dig just now in position 5. But LVC does take the point. Vari back to serve. Nice shot of Coach CJ Denk there, the foreground of your camera. Three-point Kentucky lead, 14-11. Jake Luby serving, working on Smith, handled nicely. And that is such a good shot by Jordan Vari. Hickey made a read, dive into the inside because of how much space there was left by the block. And that is Jordan Vari's primary shot in terms of his shot chart. He loves to hit the ball wrist away down the line. His individual matchup against Hickey, the line defender for Kentucky, has already been fun to watch and will continue to be. That swing from Pieper wildly out of bounds, no touch. Not good hand contact there, and LVC is right back within 1 all of a sudden. Nikki Smith serving, rotation 4 receive for Kentucky. Martin in the middle is blocked and covered. Pieper to Pieper, covered again, and now Hickey will step in and set. Ooh, net touch baited into by the New York block. Ooh, now there's a discussion about who the net touch was on. Actually, it was Kentucky. It was Casey Pieper on his way down, followed through into the net. It was definitely too tight of a set for him to handle. Now it's 14 apiece. LVC has erased the deficit. Overpassed. LVC is going to have a pretty good looking swing for the lead. Vari out of the back row, right on the sideline. That's that line range we're talking about. Just heard Michael Hickey say, that's a good swing. What are you going to do? It's not much you can do. That is a really good shot. Shoulder inside out. I just love that swing. Nice absorbing pass there by Casey Pieper, tipped in the middle, but Keller is baited into touching the net that time. This time no question about who committed the violation. 15-15. As competitive of a battle as we could have asked for. Really not a good serve there from Casey Pieper, but all of the Cup finals this year so far have just been awesome. 3-0 of the SoCal Rising Tide over Las Vegas Team NV in the West Division Cup final, but all three of those sets were really close. A crazy 5-setter won by the Chicago Icemen, the Central Division Cup final. Already a good one here on the East Coast. Give and go to Pieper, high down the line. Did not touch the block of Braswell, nor did it hit the end line. So LVC's lead grows to 2. Couple uncharacteristic errors here from the Kentucky wing attackers. Tight pass by Hickey. Hall gets up there to try and stop Rogers, but he can't quite do that. And good pressure there by New York applied for a 3-point lead. And I was just about to say that might be a Kentucky timeout, and it is. Momentum shifting. And the relentlessness of Team LVC when they start to get things rolling is palpable in this gym right now in Albany. 18-15 New York, up 1-0 already. Conclusion of set number 2 coming up. John Keller will serve out of the timeout. Has gone on a nice little run here lately. Keeps that one in play. Pieper deep cross court. Smith is there, but up into the basketball hoop, which is part of the ceiling, and therefore out of bounds. Two-point Kentucky deficit. Where are they going to get a couple break points from? One-on-one chance for Braswell, hit out of bounds, barely wide on the cross-court swing, and there's an answer right away. They get a break point on the LVC unforced error. Not a bad swing. Didn't miss by much, but he did still miss. 1-point game, 17-18. Martin keeping the serve in play, I'm sure. Oh, somehow Steve Braswell found a tiny seam between Daly and Hall. I didn't even see that in real time. Ball certainly found it. (19-17) Luke Braswell, an insurance point here for New York would be awfully nice. Pieper ripped off the block of Vari down the line and out of bounds. Man, the fifth match of the weekend for both these teams. These guys still having juice in their legs, in their shoulders, in their brains. It is remarkable, the endurance as well as the explosiveness. Oh my goodness, an ace serve. Look at that, Spencer Hall right between Pelletier and Smith. A float service untouched ace. You don't see that very often. I was just about to wonder perhaps why Hall is serving from the position 5 sideline, but there's a good answer right there. One-handed set, slowed down nicely by Daly in the middle. Now Hickey to Pieper in the back row. I don't know if he was ready for that. See if LVC can make him pay. No, not yet. Nice high shot by Luby down the line. I thought that might catch a piece of the baseline, but it did not. Big rotation right here. Steve Braswell, a good server. No, wow, he's staying down with the float serve. I'm really surprised. Daly in the middle, pounded through the block of Rogers and down on the New York side. I am very surprised that Steve Braswell made that choice to float serve that ball. Could picture one, maybe even two more of LVC's guys being given the green light to go after it from the line. Speaking of green light servers, Corey Pieper at a 2020 tie, and that one barely out of bounds long. Luby off a good block touch by Smith. Great looking transition, but too tight of a set for Vari. Mistake there from Braswell, the setter. Tried to put that ball right on top of the tape. Want to give your hitter at least like 5 feet of space off the net. Give him some room to work with out of system there. Keller blocked by Pieper, pretty good coverage, but another second ball error, this time by Steve Braswell, sends that one way out of play, and Kentucky takes the lead. 22-21. Similar score to the last set. Can Kentucky capitalize this time? Out of system swing coming from Smith, and he buries it into the net, trying to go cross court inside 3 blockers. It's 23-21, and a predictable timeout from Team LVC. What a response by the Kentucky Unicorns. Out of the timeout, 23 serving 21. Kentucky trying to get on the board in this championship match. Not if LVC has anything to say about it. Nice dig by Hall against the cross-court swing of Vari, but can't quite be controlled, so LVC is within 1. This is very similar to the last set. Kentucky has a chance to side out twice and win the second set in this championship match. But it's executing those 2 points that is the key. Vari keeps that serve in play. Luby through the block of Smith, and it can't be kept alive. 3 different New York players couldn't quite find where that ball was fast enough. There is one of the 2 side outs required, and now we've got set point Unicorns. 24-22 for Jake Luby, the left-hander. Pretty good fight-off pass by Smith. Vari out of the back row, dug by Luby. Pieper sends it over on the second ball. Smith dug easily by Hall. This is a great chance. Casey Pieper dug by Pelletier. And Vari down the line off the block of Hall and out of bounds. 2 pretty good hittable balls there for the Unicorns to win the set. But kind of off speed on both opportunities, and LVC was there. So now the pivotal point. Andrew Fishman comes in off the bench for Smith to serve this ball. 23-24, set point Kentucky in reception. 1 side out, the set is theirs. 1 break point for Team LVC. We're going to overtime again. Perfect pass. Martin in the middle. Can't quite be dug by Vari on the back 1. Off the tape and down. And by the narrowest of possible margins, Kentucky escapes. They win the second set, 25-23, and we are tied. I did tell you it was going to be a different match than the one that these 2 played first thing yesterday morning, and it has been. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Rob St. Clair here again in between sets in front of the bracket. One of these teams is going to get to write their name right about here under VLA East Division Cup champion. The LVC of the Kentucky Unicorns. It's tied 1-1. It's absolutely anybody's game. And this matchup is still continuing to develop a little bit. I wouldn't even say either team is playing their best volleyball right now necessarily. There could be more, not sure. There could definitely be more service pressure from both sides. I think the service game is going to continue to evolve in isolating targets and choosing who's going to go after it and be aggressive versus who's going to keep the ball in play. I did mention serving with intention, something I think both these teams are good at. They're going to continue to get input from their sidelines. And then the detail and the attention to detail and out-of-system plays, like second ball, high ball setting, and out-of-system situations from non-setters, like all those things that give your team chances to score in transition versus just like sending roll shots over the net or giving free balls away. Those things can really make a difference in the match at this level. And both teams have the attackers to hit those types of balls, but can they turn digs into hittable situations? I think both of them can. I'm not sure either of them have yet to their peak level. And it's crazy to think that as good as this match has already been, as good as this tournament's been, that there is even still higher level volleyball to be played. But I think that there is. And I think that whoever shows it sooner is going to come the closest to winning this tournament. So about ready for set number 3. No lineup changes that I can see for either team. So let's get back to the match. That is just barely out of bounds on the float serve of Martin. Fortunate for Team LVC because nobody had any intention of trying to pass that ball. Here is Braswell. Luke Braswell, that is. Ooh, an offensive misconnection. Hall oversets Daly, which is hard to do as high as Josh Daly gets off the ground. So a 2-0 start for LVC in this third set. Really good cross-court rip right there. Corey Pieper with a bomb. That's a little more of what I'm expecting to see from this Kentucky team. Some of the angles that these guys are able to create, as high as they can go get the ball and as well as they see the block. This goes for both teams. Decent pass by Smith. Braswell having out of system swing, and he's rejected by Corey Pieper. Daly there as well. The first block we've seen in a while. It's been so many good high block touches and coverage that this championship match has been lacking for stuff blocks a little bit, and I'm happy to have one here in the championship match. Hopefully there's a couple more. Blocks are a lot of fun. Good touch there by Daly, right on cue. A lot of touches. This is one that Kentucky can turn, and they do. Corey Pieper straight over the top. Defense transitioning into offense. That block touch by Josh Daly was outstanding. Sometimes that's all it takes. Slow that attack down a little bit. You can run your offense. There's another good touch by Daly against Rogers. Pieper slowed down similarly by Steve Braswell. And Vari blocked by Luby, covered again. This is the blocking game from both teams that we expected. Nice adjustment by Daly. Luby chopped over. Luke Braswell is there. Vari blocked by Daly this time and can't be covered. My goodness, that is such good all-around system blocking from both teams. Both middles are everywhere, but Josh Daly, a workhorse right now. That touch against Lance Rogers got the rally started, and then he finishes it off with the stuff block. Gotta give middles some love when they deserve it. Good move there by Daly as well. Another really good touch, but unfortunately this one can't quite be brought back. Man, I mean, just personally, knowing Josh Daly well, playing with him in college at Purdue, and he was a freshman or sophomore when he and I were on the team together. He did not see the game to this level. He did not have this level of blocking sophistication. Boy, has his game improved. It is awesome to see. Pretty good fix there by Luby, at least to keep the play alive. But here's a transition swing for Vari, and he is able to tool the block out of bounds. Smart wrist away shot. Just gets the deflection that he was looking for. So break point for New York there, not a system transition. We're tied up at 4. How close is this match? As competitive as you could ask for. Oh my goodness. There's a stuff block from Team LVC. Nicky Smith and Lance Rogers. Nice right-handed drop from Smith that time to seal the seam. Kind of a tight pass. Daly is slowed down. Good block touch there. Braswell out of the back row, slowed down again. Hall keeps it off the floor. Pieper blocked a second time. 2 blocks in a row from Smith and Rogers against Corey Pieper on the right side for Kentucky. New York takes the 2-point lead, and Kentucky trapped in rotation 1 here a little bit. It's going to call timeout. Nice string of blocking plays made by both teams, but it's been LVC the last couple points that have taken the momentum. Steve Braswell out of the timeout, serving, staying down. That ball is destroyed. Josh Daly on the gap set thumped it to the sideline, but he came crashing to the floor and is trying to walk off potentially a little bit of an ankle issue. No center line violation is going to be called because the ball was down, but Daly's health is the concern. And Kentucky does not really have a true backup middle blocker that they can use. So they just called a timeout. If they need to delay this any further, they might need to call a second one. What are they gonna do about this situation? Man, Daly has played so well. I really hope that his match doesn't end early because he's stepping on someone's foot. I see him on the bench right now. He's just took his shoe off. He's putting on an ankle brace. And I think he's gonna put his shoe back on and try and play. I wonder if it's gonna be if this is gonna be charged as a timeout for Kentucky, or if they do get a certain amount of time to manage an injury before potentially they are forced to burn a timeout. So while we attend to Daly, still sitting on the Kentucky bench. Kentucky's only substitute is Tim Labe, number 96, an outside hitter on the roster, and that would be a significant drop-off in the blocking game if they had to use him in an emergency. And I do think Kentucky is going to be forced into taking their second timeout, I think. So Daly's putting his shoe back on over that brace that he just put on the sideline. Looks like he's going to get back out on the court. See how close to 100% he can be. This is not a timeout charge to Kentucky. This is just a quick medical break. So Daly's going to do whatever he can. He's going to get back out there with his team, and here he comes. Fortunately for him, as a middle blocker, he gets to take a couple rotations to sit on the bench about half the time, but right now he's in the front court. He needs to be a factor for a couple more rotations. And Daly is back in the front court, number 97 for Kentucky, and we are good to continue. It is 5 serving 6, and Corey Pieper is back at the service line after the delay. Easy serve, handled nicely by Pelletier. Vari blocked by Pieper, and Casey Pieper by himself shuts down Vari. Daly nowhere to be found in that particular blocking play, and it didn't matter. Nice move by number 20 in blue and pink. Ooh, Rogers forced to pass that ball, ended up being perfect off the tape. Vari responds down the line with a hitting error. Interesting, didn't quite get the baseline. Called out of bounds and no argument from New York. So Kentucky takes the lead, 7-6. Really good pass there by Braswell. Smith, deep cross court. Hickey is there, but back to New York side. Smith again, down the line. Hall is there, but a diving Hickey can't bring it back. Nice setting there from Luke Braswell, getting Nicky Smith a one-on-one. Oh, good touch there from Vari, one-on-one against Pieper. Now Smith in transition, blocked by Daly, but deep. Long of the New York baseline, and Team LVC takes the lead. Nice touch by Jordan Vari on the block. Slowed down Casey Pieper and really started that chance. Here's Rogers. Pieper again, blasted down the line this time. A little bit of Langle action. The line angle blend to the outside of the blocker, but way inside the sideline. And if that shot is open, it is impossible to defend. Here is Daly serving, putting the float serve on Smith. Pipe combination of Braswell slowed down really nicely. Good read by Pieper. Now he's available in transition. Tipped over the top, but the play is made. Vari slowed down by Martin, covers himself easily. Now Smith rips down the line. That ball is into the net, into the antenna. Good dig by Hall, but if the ball touches the part of the net that is at the antenna or outside of the antenna, it is out of bounds. Good call there. LVC retakes the lead. Nicky Smith coming alive here offensively for New York. Nice push to Pieper to the outside. He somehow finds a seam between the block of Keller and Braswell. Keller is not happy about it. Here is Jake Luby. 9-9 tie and a 1-1 set score tie. Vari out of the back row, one-on-one against Hall, the setter, and an unforced error out of bounds deep cross court. So Kentucky still continuing to switch their wing blockers when Spencer Hall is in the front court. And it's still working for them. I'm a little bit surprised. Perfect pass there by Smith. Keller kind of stumbled in his approach. Had to tip that ball, and now Pieper in transition somehow chops it down the line. What an incredible inside-out wrist cut shot. That was nasty. The last thing I expected him to do, and you could probably say the same for Team LVC. Kentucky leads by 2. Tight pass. Hall's throwdown attempt is kept alive. Now Vari off the block and out of bounds. So Spencer Hall, the setter, gets involved in 2 left side blocking plays there as he shifts. They're choosing to switch their positioning as blockers. And that time it did not pay off for Kentucky. Interesting. Corey Pieper out of the back row, dug by Smith off the block touch. Hittable ball now for Braswell, is through the block and down. That is a field goal for sure, right through James Martin's arms. LVC will certainly take it. 11-11. Good leave there by Pieper. That serve missed out of bounds by Smith. Kentucky retakes the lead. Nice high swing there by Steve Braswell. It's a good looking double block in front of him as well. And he utilized the high part of it. That's the key. Keep the ball high when there are blockers around. Really keep the ball high always if you can. 12-12, Keller back to serve. Two service errors in a row for LVC. And now Josh Daly, after the ankle injury earlier, comes back off the bench as the front court middle blocker. We'll keep an eye on him. And I do think that LVC knows that the middle might be an area of advantage right now. And Rogers gets Daly to bite. Delivers the one-on-one to Steve Braswell on the outside. Nice set by Luke Braswell. Textbook first ball side out for Team LVC. Man, the job of the middle blocker defensively, when the ball is passed perfectly on the other side, it is impossible. You basically have to make educated guesses. And sometimes you're wrong. That happens. Ooh, Corey Pieper tried to go ridiculously sharp cross court that time and didn't find its way over the tape. So Team LVC takes the lead, 14-13. Pretty good dig there by Smith against the middle attack, but back to the Kentucky side as a free ball. Pieper, nice crossbody tool off the block of Vari and out of bounds. All of these offensive players, all these attackers are making such smart choices. This is such a smart volleyball match being played right now by both teams. No mental mistakes. Nice touch there against Rogers, but not quite good enough for Hickey to run down. And big number 10 with another kill. Here is Steve Braswell going back to the jump spin serve. I like that choice. Oh, that is a bomb from Corey Pieper on the right side. He is up there. Can put that ball on a plate on top of the antenna and he will go up there and get it no problem. Ridiculous. And here is Pieper back to serve. I keep talking about his serving ability. If you watch throughout the tournament, you've seen it. That's a good one. Wow, that ball barely dodged a light up in the ceiling that would have been out of bounds. As it is, though, a block by Daly, assisted by the tape. That ball falls, unable to be covered on the New York side, and Kentucky takes the lead, 16-15. Ace serve. Oh, no way. I thought for sure that ball was in. That is so close to the sideline. Pieper has had success going on that hooking serve to position one. That one did not miss by much. I thought that was perfect. Called out of bounds, though. Rogers at a 16-16 tie for New York. Nice shot again. That's Casey Pieper working the line. Both, actually really all three Kentucky wings having success lately going across their bodies, working down the line. Keep an eye on that, see if the LVC blockers adjust their spacing. Nice set from Braswell to Keller. Really generating some separation. Really a fundamental part of a lot of these offenses, the ability to run that gap set to the middle. And the way that that opens up the right side of the court attack. That is high-level volleyball 101. Easy leave there by Kentucky as that serve by Vari misses out of bounds. 18-17. We're getting to that point, that special point in the third set where every contact is magnified, every break point is massive, and every player is put under pressure. Setter dump attempt by Braswell, out of bounds and did not touch the block of Hall, who to his credit was there. Ball passed ever so slightly too tight, maybe. That's the margin we're talking about, so narrow. Kentucky takes a 2-point lead. Perfect pass there by Steve Braswell. Smith through the block of Martin and down on the Kentucky side. And we're going to see Andrew Fishman once again in for Smith to serve and play the backcourt. Here is Fishman. New York in a 1-point hold. Oh, what a rip by Pieper. That is not a bad touch at all by Pelletier. Did hit the basketball hoop, but would have hit the back wall, no problem. That is an awesome swing. And a 2-point Kentucky lead. Setter tip out of bounds by Luke Braswell a couple points ago feels pretty big right about now. Braswell tipped over the top. Hall makes the play. At least he was there, but he couldn't control it enough to be brought back. A rare but smart off-speed shot that time by Steve Braswell. Now, once again, Jake Gleason comes in off the bench for Team LVC. He came in set one when LVC needed a run, and he produced it. What can he do here? He produces a service error that time. Big gift of a point for Kentucky. Oh, what a dig by Martin, the middle blocker down the line. Pieper in transition off of Vari's platform and out of bounds. What a dig by James Martin. That is as good as it gets, especially from a middle blocker, but from anybody, anywhere, to absorb that swing, put it right on top of the setter's head. And Kentucky leading by 3 has forced New York into a timeout. What do we have here? Out of the timeout, James Martin serving again. 3-point Kentucky lead. Vari's got to have this, and he does not. That ball is out of bounds. No, never mind. Out by the line judge, but overruled by the up official as in. That ball is in, and how important could that be? 22-20. Luke Braswell 2-point LVC hole. Ooh, he makes Daly pass that ball. This is going to be a free ball pretty much anyway. Actually, a good shot by Daly to make New York uncomfortable. Braswell for a big point on serve, and he puts it away on the left side. Crucial swing by number 29 in black. And good serving from his brother Luke to start things off in that play. And we have a timeout by Kentucky. I think they were deciding whether or not they wanted to use that, but they choose to. From 22-19 to 22-21, still very much anybody's game. Out of the timeout, Luke Braswell serving. Pivotal point in this championship match right here. Kentucky can side out this ball, and they can. What a time for Spencer Hall to bring out the two-handed setter dump. Wow, I did not expect that, and neither did Team LVC. Hall now back to serve. That was very well disguised and even better timing for number 1 in blue and pink. Kentucky back up by 2. Similar situation to the last 2 sets. LVC needs perfect side out from here on out, and they get one there. Jordan Vari tipping to the floor on the left side. And they bring in Nikki Smith back in for Fishman at outside hitter, sort of an offense-defense substitution. 22 serving 23. Can New York make yet another late set comeback? Steve Braswell with the spin serve is a good one, and it is not coming back. Ace serve, Steve Braswell. What a time to dial up some service pressure. It is 23-all. How close has this championship match been? Nobody has gotten more than 2 or 3 points separated at any point since first serve. Braswell again, really good serve. Luby under pressure, and Vari throws him back to the floor. Rotation 1 trap here against Kentucky. Set point New York, and this is a match-defining point coming up right here. Set point New York. If Steve Braswell can put some more pressure on, this is not a good reception rotation for Kentucky, but if they get out of this, their next server is Corey Pieper. You better believe this ball. Oh, going to the middle with Daly, and Rogers makes the blocking play. I am shocked that that ball did not go to Corey Pieper on the right side for Kentucky. Rogers was there and ready waiting. A huge late set comeback for Team LVC. 22-19 down, a 6-1 run to take the third set 25-23. My goodness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Rob St. Clair here once again in between sets. This has just been a treat to watch. What a tournament, what a final match. Every set's been incredibly close. It seems like Kentucky's been in control several times. They've had set point chances, they've had late leads, and they only have won 1 set instead of maybe a potential 3. That's how well they've played. But Team LVC's clutch ability late in sets, manufacturing break points at pivotal times. They have done it time and time again, and they've needed it here in this championship match. And for their efforts, they are 1 set away from grabbing this particular trophy, the East Division Cup, to the winner of this match right here. While we have a moment, there's a bunch of people to thank just in case this is the last set of this tournament. Huge thanks to the Impact Athletics Center for having us. Incredible venue. I'm really hoping, excited to potentially come back to this gym in the town of Half Moon, north of Albany. Huge thanks to Novice Clothing Company, our apparel provider based here in Albany. Got to go to their office on Friday. They've been an incredible sponsor, partner for all of our Tier 1 teams and several of our Tier 2 teams. Huge thanks to Mikasa, the official volleyball supplier of the VLA, to Todd J Photography, our photographer is on site right now, to Team Woot, Michael and Kyung Wooten coming up from Austin, Texas to run this incredible broadcast. Thanks to Stat Together, one of our live stream database and stat keeping platforms. And to all of you for watching. Been an incredible tournament, and it's only going to get better from here. Set number 4, just about ready to go. And LVC starts it off on the far side with an ace serve. Luke Braswell with the float service ace. My question for the Unicorns, well, not only is Josh Daly's ankle, but do they have enough gas in the tank? They've won 5 setters before. There's a good swing from Corey Pieper on the left side. Kentucky came back from 2-0 down yesterday in pool play to beat the New York Lost Travelers in 5. That match was ridiculous. And very similarly, earlier this morning, they beat the Boston Bounce in 5, 15-13 in the 5th. That match was also ridiculous. So Kentucky has been here before in situations where they're trying to force tiebreakers. That is a really good swing by Steve Braswell on the right side to get New York out of rotation 1. But as successful as Kentucky has been in their young existence, beating 3 Tier 1 teams, playing all these 5 setters, creating all these highlights, this is a bit of a different beast that they're playing against right now. Team LVC can taste the East Division Cup. They're 1 set away from the first Cup Series tournament victory in their team's history, and to do it at home here in Albany would be extra special. Really good pass by Pelletier, and dug somehow by Hickey into the bottom of the net, but right on top of the net on the second contact. That joust play is won by Vari of New York. Man, Michael Hickey. I know the Unicorns didn't win that point, but Michael Hickey has had a standout tournament at the libero position. Luby on the right side, deep cross court and in. That is a perfect swing. Undefendable to the deep cross court corner. Really nicely done by number 4 in pink and blue. Daly back to serve, and he'll get to go to the bench after this trip to rest that ankle, but his float serve has work to do first. Smith rolled, Hall reacts, but just barely. That ball touches a piece of the floor. Pancake play not quite able to be made. Perfect pass by Casey Pieper. Martin in the middle through the block of Keller somehow. And down on the New York side, that looked like a block to me at first glance. Good service pressure there from Luby. Braswell to Vari out of the back row. Luby's underneath it. This is a free ball at best. Braswell, two-handed setter dump, and it finds the floor. Taking a page from Spencer Hall's book. We saw that late in the last set. And a timely choice there from Luke Braswell. Really good pass by Pieper again. Martin on the slide, jumped too early. And on his way down, he couldn't find his way over the net there. So a misconnection offensively, a rare mistake for the Unicorns. Smith back to serve, 6-4 New York lead. One of the things that Team LVC is good at is smelling blood in the water and terminating. If they sense any weakness in Kentucky right now, any exhaustion, any fatigue, they will put their foot on their throats. 7-4, that ball on unforced error by Corey Pieper out of the back row. Really good pass. And a nice high swing off the high part of the double block and out of bounds. Textbook volleyball from Casey Pieper right there. Let me tell you, I played against Casey in college. He was playing opposite at Dayton in like the 2015, 16, 17 time period. Since then, another guy who played collegiate club whose game has skyrocketed in quality and all-around ability. He's so good. And so is his brother, for that matter. That's Jordan Vari that time out of the back row off the block and out of bounds. This is as big of a lead as really anybody's had the entire match. 3 points and 8-5 for Team LVC. Overpass forced. Braswell, Smith out of the back row. Ripped on the bit combination play. First one of those we've really seen in system for Team LVC, and a great choice by Braswell. Man, if the Kentucky blockers have to worry about yet another dimension of the New York offense this late in the match, good luck. Good serving by Keller as well. He cuts that one short, and it's an ace serve. I love that choice. Such a smart serve from John Keller, number 9 in black. He just forced an overpass on the hard serve, get the receivers on their heels, and drop it down in front of them. Really smart. And the net gets in the way that time, but a great trip to the line for Keller, the middle blocker. It's 6 serving 10. Kentucky with some work to do. That's a high, hard swing from Steve Braswell, exploiting a seam in the blockers. Braswell had a great collegiate career at St. Francis, and I'm sure it's cool for him to play at this high of a level with his brother. Luke goes back to serve now. What a dig by Smith against Pieper, but back to Kentucky. Pieper again, blocked by Rogers and can't be covered. Lance Rogers imposing his size on the LVC front court, and we have a Kentucky timeout. Their first in the 4th set. It is 12-6. Like I said, if Team LVC smells blood in the water, good luck. Well, we have a minute. I can address some comments in the chat. Let us know in the YouTube live chat who you're rooting for, where you're watching from, any comments that you have. And a good point. The Kentucky's last time out at the Central Division Cup, they did lose in the first round of the bracket, but you got to put that in perspective. It's not that simple. They played 4 matches in one day in that tournament, which seriously contributed to them losing a little earlier in terms of where in the tournament stage. But they beat a Tier 1 team in pool play at that event. Their level was extremely high, just as high as this right now. They just got kind of a bad draw and a bad schedule. So if you see that Kentucky tied for 9th or 13th or whatever it would have been at the tournament in Chicago, you weren't paying as close attention to how good this team actually is. And we're going to see really a test of their mental fortitude right here out of this timeout, down by 6. Daly on the right side off 2 feet. Pretty good dig there, but Vari hits it out of bounds on the right side. Vari here now on the left side is absolutely clamped by Luby. What a stuffed block for number 4 in blue and pink. That is highlight reel material right there. Big right-handed press to take away the line. And sure enough, Kentucky calls timeout and grabs 2 points immediately. This is Vari again, and off the high part of Daly's block this time and out of bounds. Gotta wonder how much that ankle, maybe minor ankle turn that we saw in the 3rd set is affecting Josh Daly right now. He was really blocking the ball well the first part of this match. Pieper on the right side, that is just out of bounds wide. I love that arm action. I love the contact point. He just barely misses the court, and Kentucky cannot afford very many more of those. Tight pass forced by the serve of Braswell, and Rogers is called for reaching over the net. Didn't look like he went that far over, but Hall is giving him the benefit of the doubt on that call. The ball is still fully on the Kentucky side. Now would be a really good time for Kentucky to go on a run with Corey Pieper, excuse me. At that time, a really good first ball side out by New York. Ripped down the line by Jordan Vari, and Hickey could handle the heat.
He's garbage. Bench him.
15-9 team LVC. This is not a team that is easy to make comebacks against. They're a team that does the coming back most of the time, as we've seen in sets 1 and 3. Ooh, not great hand contact there by Luby. Pretty good defensive touch by Braswell, but couldn't be kept alive. Here is Daly to serve. Could use a couple points in this rotation. Vari again through the block. Daly actually makes the pancake play. And now it's back on LVC's side. Smith, deep cross court, missed it out of bounds. A pancake play from a middle blocker. How about that? I can't wait to talk to Josh about that one later. See, I wonder how many pancakes he has in his career. That was a beauty. Perfect pass. Vari on the right side again. Blasted cross court, but barely. Braswell is able to keep it alive on the New York side. That's a good recycle play. That was definitely touched by the block. Not a great bump set, though, and now Kentucky's into transition. Pieper out of the back row, chopped wrist away, and watched by Pelletier, who allows it to go out of bounds wide. Good rally there. Won by New York on the hitting arrow. What a stuff block by Keller. Shutting down Casey Pieper in a big way. That was huge. Braswell there as well. 17-11. Any more points on New York serve, and the clock will get closer to striking midnight for Kentucky. Deep cross-court swing from Luby. Pretty good defense. Hittable ball for Smith. Rolled and dug by Pieper. Martin in transition available, but he follows through on his attack swing and touches the net. Another point on serve for New York. (18-11). Jordan Vari extending. Kentucky is running out of time. Oh my goodness. Oh, Luke Braswell blocking the match right there. What a clamp. Right-handed shutdown of Casey Pieper. That was nasty. And that is deflating for sure if you're Kentucky, as they do call timeout, but LVC can feel it. They are 6 points away from a title. What a tournament win it would be. The significance. A cup win would clinch them a spot in the playoffs, a Tier 1 championship event berth. It would almost definitely win them the East Division, unless either the Boston Bounce or the Northeast Force were to go to the VLA Cup in Chicago and win that tournament. And I think really just for LVC's sake, it would cement their own position in their own heads as a contender yet again in the VLA Tier 1. Like I said earlier, the SoCal Rising Tide and the Chicago Icemen defended their home cup events in their divisions this year already. I would say those two are the main contenders in Tier 1, as is LVC, and they will prove it if they can win this set. Luby on the right side is shut down again. Where did this blocking come from for Team LVC? Another highlight reel clamp, this time Nikki Smith. Unbelievable moves from the LVC front court here lately. Kentucky is shell-shocked. It is 20-11. That ball is hit out of bounds by James Martin. It is 21-11. When it rains, it pours. Jordan Vari is going on a run. It's not for lack of reception that Kentucky isn't able to side out of this rotation. I just think that they're both physically and emotionally running on empty. And playing against Team LVC will certainly do that to you. Pieper fights that pass off. Corey Pieper rolled out of the back row, and he baits Keller into touching the net once again. Yeah, we've seen a lot of net violations from blockers in this match. Good shot there by Vari, recognizing the three blockers in front of him. Means there's a lot of open space short, just past their fingertips. Smart play for number 15 Black, who very well may be cementing an MVP case in this tournament if LVC is able to finish it out like we expect. They are 3 points away. Nikki Smith. That ball is served out of bounds. Fortunately, our camera tripod can take a hit and handle it just fine. Now, Casey Pieper is going to stay down. I'm surprised. You're down by this much. Might as well serve as aggressively as you can. Setter dump by Braswell. Nicely played by Luby, but LVC gets the ball back. Braswell to Braswell. Another off-speed shot. Really successful. Steve Braswell finds the floor on the roller that time. Now it is Keller's turn. New York is 2 points away. Ball is passed up into the rafters. Pieper collides with Hickey as he goes to take a swing and can't really send it over. And as dramatic as the first 3 sets have been, LVC has pulled away in such a way that this 4th set is not dramatic whatsoever. All that's left to do is win match point. 24-13, John Keller with the honors to deliver Team LVC their first Cup Division title. Not a good pass by Hickey. Free ball opportunity for the title. Smith, Braswell, Rogers, incredible dig. Another chance. Braswell, Rogers again, and it's to the floor. Team LVC has done it. The East Division Cup stays at home in Albany. Team LVC, the reigning Tier 1 champions, come in seeded number 1, and they defend home turf. And for the first time in their history, they will hoist a Divisional Cup trophy. What a performance by Team LVC, as well as the Kentucky Unicorns. Just an incredible fight by the Unicorns in their first Divisional Cup final. They really did their program proud, and the league is on notice that you cannot sleep on this Kentucky team. But it will be New York who gets to celebrate tonight What a tournament it has been. I will head out to the court to hear from the victorious team LVC in just a minute. Stick around. Come on, even closer. Check 1, 2. Check, check, check. All right, we got some nice microphone signal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can already see the banner, but it's my pleasure to also award the East Division Cup trophy for the first time ever to Team LVC. Attaway, fellas. First and foremost, I want to hear from several people while we're still on the broadcast. I want to hear from the MVP of the 2023 East Division Cup, Mr. Jordan Vari. Get over here, my friend. Jordan, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So, the last 2 matches that you guys played, an incredible 3-set win over the River City Flow, where all those games were so close. Get that out of here. All those games were so close, and all the games just now, with the exception of the 4th, were so close as well. Every time you guys got into a situation around point 23, how did you deliver those across the finish line?
We know that everybody here's got each other's backs. I mean, the middles played fantastic. Yeah. Keller, Lance, AJ, Cardi, all the middles played fucking awesome. Awesome, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. They played tremendous.
Whole team was tremendous, and so it was funny this tournament because the final was a rematch of a game literally first thing yesterday morning, but needless to say that was a completely different match than the one from yesterday. What was different about Kentucky this afternoon, and how did you figure them out? Because in the 4th set you certainly did.
They gel really well together. They gel. Those the brothers on the outside and their libero, they just gel really well together, and we had to figure them out. They had us figured out there in the first 2 sets. We were able to overcome. But they play a heck of a game, and fortunately, we were just able to bring it together.
And where does this put you and your team going into the rest of the season? Where do you stand in your own heads, kind of in the scope of the whole league in Tier 1 by now?
Well, we have big egos, so we always think that we're at the top, but we're always scratching and clawing and wanting to get better, and we need to defend our first place title from last year. So that's another we want back-to-back.
Mission accomplished. You got it done at home. Well done, dude. Congratulations. I want to hear from one of those middles you talked about. All-tournament award for Mr. Lance Rogers. Get over here, buddy. Lance, this heck of a tournament, by the way. Congratulations. The blocking game against a team like that, they've got big arms, and they've got middles that move around a lot. Talk about what you're seeing against an offense like Kentucky.
It's definitely different than pretty much any other team we're going to go against because they do move to a lot of different areas that a lot of our teams aren't used to. So you just got to read and use your eyes and see where people are moving, communicate with your teammates with the block, especially let them know before the serve's happening what to expect and what's about to happen. Like, hey, this is the rotation they like to run, that back slide or that back one. Watch them coming across. Let your outsides know, and it makes it a lot easier from there.
How about in a tournament that's this long, 5 matches in 2 days, something that we like to talk about all the time is the learning curve that it takes to manage lineups. How did you guys approach that this weekend?
I think we did a really good job. We've had a couple sets that were a little rough, and we made the adjustments right away instead of waiting too long. And we see in a lot of the previous tournaments, some teams wait too long to make those adjustments, and they can't fight back. If you make those adjustments early, we can fight back. And then everyone on our team did a good job of giving everyone a break. Yeah. So everyone on our team at least got a full match off, and that definitely helps as well through a tournament that you play 5 matches in.
Super important and really well done by you guys. I always notice that the teams that win these tournaments do manage their lineups the best, so really well done.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to hear, next I want to hear from not one, give me both Braswell brothers. Come here, boys. Luke and Steve Braswell here. Gentlemen, congratulations. Luke, great to see you back with Team LVC on the VLA stage. Steve, welcome to the VLA. You got some hardware to take home. How's that sound?
Feels great, man. Feels great. All right. Good to come out in a good tournament and get some hardware. Sounds good.
This is definitely a first in VLA history where we had both teams in the finals, both with brother duos. What was that like?
I mean, those guys I think look a lot more like brothers than we do, but you know, it was fun.
They were twins, yeah, and they were like more athletic than us, I think, but yeah, it was still fun. It was a good time.
A tournament like this where you have so many matches that you have to play, I just heard from Lance, I want both of your takes from the setter and outside perspectives of what your roles are and how those shift match to match as you try to give guys a break every so often.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough because coming in, I knew I'd be the only setter, and then we actually had one more coming with us too, so that was fun. But yeah, being the only setter was tough. It's a lot of playing time, a lot of running. Yeah, it's just eat when I can, get calories, hydrate a lot, and just get ready to go.
As an outside, your first job is to pass. So we have great middles on this team, so as long as we were passing well, things went well. And when we passed well and the middles needed a break, we took some swings. So as an outside, pass first, and then hope your setter gives you some balls. Which
yeah. Pass first.
Your brother certainly likes that.
Yes.
Last but not least, I heard from Jordan about this as well. You played the Kentucky Unicorns first thing yesterday morning, but the run that they made through the tournament, in which they deserve all the respect in the world, proved that this match in the final was not going to be the same match you played yesterday morning. What was the learning curve like for that particular team?
Yeah, so watching them play, like, we played against them 7:30. They showed up like kind of late. They weren't like ready to go, and it was insane because the team that we played 7:30 a.m. on Friday morning was not this team. They bounced back. They started clicking. We were watching them play too. We're like, dang, they're beating a lot of good teams, and they were on fire, and they rode it to the finals. So they played an awesome tournament.
Yeah, like you said, their attackers woke up during the tournament. They had a great out-of-system team. All right, they were taking phenomenal swings, high off the block, really challenging us. So we had to adapt from a blocking and defense perspective, and we were able to do that.
Boys, congratulations. Hope to see you at the VLA Cup in May, where LVC will go in as one of the teams to beat. I'm really looking forward to it. Congratulations again. Go celebrate, take some photos. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. The East Division Cup is a wrap. Congratulations to Team LVC on taking the cup home. Congratulations to the Kentucky Unicorns on an incredible tournament. Seriously, that team deserves all the respect in the world. It was a treat to watch them play. But that's it. Next up for the VLA, in 2 weeks, the Central Division will head to Louisville, Kentucky. I believe actually the Unicorns will be in action there as well in a Tier 2 event. So regular season coming up for the Central in 2 weeks, and later on, the VLA Cup, the granddaddy of them all, as we like to say, May 12th through 14th in Chicago. All of these teams and many, many more will be in action. So thanks for watching all weekend long. Make sure you're subscribed to the Volleyball League of America YouTube channel. Find us on Instagram. Check out the website. Much more content coming. There's a lot more volleyball left to be played this VLA season. So now from Albany, shout out to the Impact Athletic Center for having us. Rob St. Clair signing off.